Hello. So today we will discuss about the 3-point starter. This is here is a picture of 3-point starter and various parts is shown here. So first of all, why we need to use a 3-point starter in a DC shunt motor? So the reason behind that, at the point of starting we know that in a DC motor there in the armature there is no back EMF generated inside the rotor. So because of that, here you can see the diagram that here in this equation you can see this is a DC shunt motor, which is that when it is the equation for normal case when the motor is running, but at the starting point there is no back EMF. So now if this back EMF is 0, then at starting then the armature current of a DC motor is very high, because the resistance of the DC armature resistance is comparatively very low. For example, you can take it as 0.5 ohm or around that value. So if we take the for that kind of value of armature resistance, the armature current is very high, and this much high armature current the rotor cannot sustain, and the rotor coil will simply burn. So to avoid the massive damage from the burning of the coil, we have to use resistance at the starting point. So at the starting point, this is the this 3-point starter that we use, and with the help of this we can increase the resistance initially, and later on we can disconnect the resistance for the normal operation of the motor. Now for what is the major parts of this 3-point starter? So why it is known as 3-point? Because there is 3 terminal. Here you can see this is L terminal, this is F terminal, this is A terminal. L terminal refers to the load terminal, F is refers to the field, and A is for the armature terminal. In this 3 terminal you have to put input to start the 3-point starter. Now what is there, how it is works? No, this is the input terminal. Here you can put the voltage, DC voltage value. So it is the plus and it is the minus. Okay, now this plus, if we just taking there is a load resistance RL, very high load resistance. Now this is the terminal, and this plus value is come to with is winded with this coil, and this is called overload coil. This is written here. So overload coil, it has some working principle, but let me just tell you, after this overload coil, this terminal is going to this spring. Here it is a spring which this is a lever. This is connected here. This is a lever. And this with this lever it is connected to a huge resistance. Now at the starting point, when it is off, there is no connection between this circuit and the lever. Now if we further start the 3-point starter, we turn this lever into this direction. Into this direction we turn this lever. Okay, so when we turn this lever, initially this lever will connect to this point. And if we further rotate this lever, and then it will come to this point. So what happened at the point of starting, all this resistance, this R5 from R1 to R5, this all resistance will added in the circuit. So there will be a huge resistance, and because of this resistance, the armature current will be drastically low, and that will not affect any that will not hamper the rotor coil. Okay, now as the speed is slowly increased, this handle is continuously rotating in this direction, and from 1 to 3 and in this direction. As much as we go in the direction, in this upward direction, the resistance go down and the current is increased. Okay, now this current is connected, this connected, you can see this is connected to the main armature winding. So armature current is improved, armature current will increase. Okay, so this is armature current, and this armature current, and another terminal is connected to this one. Okay, so this is the motor. Now there is the field winding connector. Field winding is there because it is a shunt excited, so it is a shunt connected field winding. So the field is connected in this in parallel to the armature winding. So here you can see this is the field winding. So the one terminal of the field winding is connected to this terminal, and another terminal is connected to this point, right? Connected to this point. Now and this terminal is also connected to another coil. This is called and hold coil. Okay, this is called hold coil, or sometimes it is called no hold coil. And this coil, the basic objective of this coil is it is made of a ferromagnetic material, and it is an electromagnet. So whenever this coil is getting from this coil, the current will pass, then this coil will magnetize, and due to this, when we move this lever towards this direction, it will simply attached with this coil, and this coil, this hammer or this handle will fixed with this coil. Okay, so there it will not return, it will not go back to its initial position because of this magnetization. This is a hold coil, that is why it is called hold coil, right? Now there is another coil we applying here, that is the overload coil. Now whenever the motor is having some overload, that time this the current will more current will passes from this motor, and because of that this coil is getting magnetized. And when this coil is getting magnetized, and this lever will that is called lever triangular iron piece, this will pull upward. And when this will pull upward, these two terminal are short circuited. And when these two terminals short circuited, then this hold coil, you can see that these two terminals is directly connected to the two terminal of the hold coil. So this terminal will short circuited, and then this hold coil will demagnetized. And when this terminal is demagnetized, then this lever will return back to its initial position because of the spring action. Here we put the spring, so because of the spring action, this lever will return back to its initial position. Now this is what we done to protect our motor or protect our motor from the overloading effect. Okay, so this is how we also protect this motor from the overload. And simultaneously our main objective that we have to protect the armature winding from burning for initial high amount of current. That is also fulfilled by this 3-point starter. So this is this is all about this 3-point starter. And these are the three terminal. I have already explained this. That's in this three terminal we have to put the input to operate this machine. And one thing is important, that whenever we move this lever from this terminal to here, then it will just fixed with when this coil is magnetized, it will fix tightly with this hold coil. And when we need to turn off the machine, we don't need to put back it, we don't need to do it manually. It will this hold coil will automatically demagnetize, and it will rotate came back to its initial position automatically because of the spring effect. Okay, so this is all about the 3-point starter, and thank you very much.